So something totally went wrong with that intro there, but whatever. Maybe it looked right on your end. Welcome back to the Science Fictionary podcast. I am Andrew. Um, we're still here. So this is going to be the first show in quite some time. Hopefully, the first of many. I'm not going to make any promises because I have found it incredibly difficult to find time to do the show, which is really disappointing and has led me to consider shutting the show down. But I enjoy it. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. We're not going to go anywhere, but I'm still searching for a way to make this show happen more regularly. Keep an eye out. I really am expecting to do a lot more short live shows, and probably earlier in the day. We used to do pretty much exclusively stuff in the evenings. Um, it's just not working with my current schedule. Work has been incredibly busy. Um, Marisha has been incredibly busy, which, as some of you know, means that she's not here. She often works away for weeks at a time. And even if she's working here locally, which she is working locally right now, then, she's just not available for very much of this, except maybe on the weekends. Um, so, you know, I have said before, part of the reason we started the podcast, Coruscant Radio Underground was the first podcast. We started that podcast. It was meant to be a way for me to push myself to do something creative and to do something that I honestly, as a little bit of an introverted person, was a little bit intimidating, and to push myself. And then eventually it became a YouTube channel, which became a whole new way of pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And now I'm trying to do the same thing, realizing that I'm going to be doing the show alone a lot more. Now that we're back, hopefully we're back. I'm going to be talking to David about getting an audio show back up once a week. We're going to talk, even if we only do an audio show a couple of times a month. I really want to bring that back. So that's something we're going to be working towards. This, however, the YouTube show is mostly going to be just me. You can see I've got a couple extra chairs set up here. We're working on some stuff. The Padawans are going to be joining me for some stuff, and stay tuned. The older two Padawans may be starting their own channel as well, and so we will definitely do some talking about that here if that gets off the ground. I know that right now they're a little busy to start that, but later this summer, I think that will probably become a thing. Um, let's see. I'm just going to kind of ramble here for a minute, see if anybody joins in the chat. I know it's a really weird time of day for us to go live. And of course, there was no warning. I didn't post anything. I didn't know when I was going to go live. But we're still here, probably to the dismay of some, hopefully to the joy of some of you. But the shows, I intend very much to keep doing the show. In fact, I really intend to do the show more. I probably expect we've always done hour plus episodes. Going to be trying to do some shorter stuff. Today's going to be a little weird. Today's going to be a little haphazard. We've missed so very much. If there is a topic that we missed over the last couple of months while we've been away that you want us to cover, please drop it in the comments. Please share it with us on Twitter. If you're a member of our Discord, drop it there. If you're not a member of our Discord, go over there and check it out. I will drop a link. Actually, I don't know that it does any good to drop a link in here, but you can always hit me up on Twitter to find the Science Fictionary podcast. You can hit us up on Facebook as well. There's a Science Fictionary and a Coruscant Radio Underground page on Facebook. So if you're not on X, you can always go find us on Twitter. What's going on right now? So we just saw the Thunderbolts. Incredible movie. We're going to be doing a full review of that. Maybe more than one. Maybe one with the Padawans and one with Marisha this coming weekend if she has a minute. But just absolutely fantastic film. It's I'll give my short review. The same thing I already said on Twitter. While I enjoyed some Phase Four, Phase Five movies, it's been a really, really mixed bag. There's been a few really good movies. There's been a lot of just very mediocre. They're decent, they're watchable, but not necessarily movies I'm picking up to rewatch on the regular, like I did with a lot of things in the first three phases. There's a lot of things from the first three phases I still watch regularly. A lot of movies there, and then there are a handful of movies in the last two phases that I'll probably never watch again. Um, the Eternals, I think that there was, I think there was, I still think there was some potential there with the Eternals, but man, what a just rotten movie stuck in the middle. It's hands down the worst Marvel movie, and I don't think it's close. Um, I would gladly watch the first Thor, which I actually like. I don't have a problem with that movie. The first Hulk movie, which again I actually kind of like that movie, especially as the years have gone by. That movie stands out more and more. Um, Gosh, I mean, even Captain Marvel was better than Eternals, and I don't think it's close. But I really feel like the Thunderbolts was it's got that thing that so much of Phase 4 and 5 have been missing. It feels more like a pre-Endgame movie to me. Now it's not doing great. Oh, Nick, thanks for dropping in. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to drop in me going live at such a weird time unannounced, but glad to have you here. But Thunderbolts, I highly recommend it. Very good, very reminiscent of a lot of Phase 1 and 2 of the Marvel stuff. The characters play with off each other very, very well. Super fun movie. Good action, good interactions between the actors. Um, Yelena was a great lead. That was my one thing I was a little skeptical because I knew that she was going to be the primary lead. Um, I'm really stoked. I even predicted, I'll have to go back and find the clip. I even predicted 5 or 6 months ago that the asterisk was a placeholder. I was a little off. I said it was for the Secret Avengers, but you know, we will be coming back and doing full reviews of that movie. I'll do one with Marisha. I'll do one with the Padawans. It made somewhere around 160 million dollars for the first weekend, which is not incredible, but this one doesn't have the bloated budget that a lot of these I mean, really everything lately's had really crazy bloated budgets. This one, I want to say it's right around 180 million, which means I would assume our total budget after marketing is somewhere between 300 and 400 million, which so I think worldwide, I think this hit about 160 million over the weekend. So I think that there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance, one, with this being the first summer movie, that this one maybe has some legs. I'm still a little concerned. I haven't looked to see how long they're leaving it in the theater. I still think that the studios are doing these films an incredible disservice when they pull them out of the theaters too soon. But I mean, like, that is what it is. Until the theaters start demanding better treatment, because the bottom line is like, while I enjoy the theater more than I enjoy watching movies at home, I enjoy the theater. Because I get to go watch a movie with other fans and without the distractions of home, because there's just always something at home that demands my attention, especially since I work from home. Like, there's just always something here that demands my attention. Nick, if you get a chance to go see it, it is definitely worth seeing. It's my favorite in a very, very long time. Especially given that Endgame was 6 years ago. That seems nuts. Um, I'm still not sure how that's possible. But I think this movie probably as long as it doesn't get yanked out of the theater too soon, the reviews are too high. I think it's going to make money. Now, how much money? I don't know. Well, I think it'll break even. I don't think it's going to make just tons of money because very rarely will a movie make as much the second weekend as it does the first. But hopefully, this one has a chance as we head into the summer movie season. Um, and then the Marvel problem. It's really not just a Marvel problem; it's a Disney problem. It may be bigger than that. I mean, I'm going to pick on Disney a little bit because it's so obvious within that studio. It's sort of a thing just plaguing all of Hollywood right now, where for one, they've been far too willing to play politics with their products for entirely too long rather than tell good stories. It's all about pushing a narrative rather than telling an enjoyable story in a fun way. Even some of the good movies find ways to just ruin it by inserting uh, politics in it, whether it be in the film itself or whether the actors can't contain themselves when they go on promotional tours. I mean, we just had Star Wars Celebration in Japan, and it was probably, I don't know. I mean, maybe it was because it was so distant and it was all running at a certain time late in the evenings, but probably the least impactful Star Wars Celebration in a certainly in the last couple of decades. Um, just nothing worthwhile that seems to have come out of it. I mean, we got there's a leaked trailer out there for the Mandalorian and Grogu, which looks good. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about, even if people are tired of that. I mean, if John Favreau is making a Star Wars movie, I'm going to go see it. I'm excited about that. But it seems, I mean, Marvel and even more so Star Wars, these are the biggest IPs on the planet. These things, Marvel was just printing money for a while. Star Wars should have been. Star Wars, at one point, Star Wars could pretty much do anything and people would go see it. Now they blew that up. When we talk about theatrical failures, that doesn't start with Disney. That starts with Lucasfilm, their last theatrical release when they decided to release the Clone Wars movie in the theaters. It bombed. Now, animated, I'm always going to, talk about animated in a little bit different category, even though I think animated Star Wars is some of the best Star Wars we have. I don't think that's really questionable, but there's a couple of things that are going on with these Marvel movies and why they're not making money. Some of them have been good. Some good movies that haven't made money. And honestly, that's where we're at with the Thunderbolts. It might make money. I think it's on pace to make money. See, now I agree with that. I didn't need any movie announcements was my whole thing. Like, I don't need movie announcements. There was something just really lackluster for me about it. Now you're a little later than me. Like, it might have been a little easier for you to follow. It was a little earlier in your evening than it was for me. They weren't, I don't think the live stream was starting till 8 p.m. And honestly, by that point, I was, after playing Mr. Dad with Marisha out of town for 4 weeks at that point, I just didn't have much left to to put into watching a stream starting at 8 o'clock in the evening. But I know some people enjoyed it. I just in the past, when I haven't been able to go to Celebration, I've followed them very closely, even done live streams in correlation, and the only thing that I was super excited about going into this celebration was the new game, and they did give it a name. I'm forgetting what it was named, but Bit Reactor, it has a new Star Wars strategy game coming out. Super excited about the Star Wars strategy game. If you ever played XCOM from Firaxis Games, Bit Reactor is a relatively new company from a lot of the guys over at Firaxis that made XCOM, generally considered the best strategy game of all time, and some of the developers from Civ. So these are the guys making the new Star Wars um, strategy game. So I'm super excited about that. Um, let's see. Hello, Danny. Thanks for dropping in the chat here. We're just rambling through some stuff here just because I really have been itching to get back on here. Let's see. We got two Vision spinoff shows, animated mall show, Ryan Gosling movie now in production, Mando and Grogu footage, and games with footage. Nick, you might have to remind me. I only saw one of the games. Now, the game that I saw, let's see if I can find the name of that game. Bit Reactor. I think we did get a name. Zero Company, Star Wars Zero Company. We did get an official reveal for that. I'm not sure what the release date is, but hopefully soon. Oh, it's not coming until next year. That's a disappointment. It was supposed to come out this year. But super excited about the movie. But yeah, if there was a video game, but if there was another video game announced, let me know. I'm still kind of fuming about Respawn was supposed to be making the next Star Wars shooter FPS game that got scrapped sometime last year. I mostly play FPS games, and so far, the two Battlefront games, the two recent Battlefront games, the two old ones were really good. The two new ones, they just don't. They're not horrible games, but they don't keep up with modern FPS games. They feel outdated before they came out feeling outdated. They have been very guilty of pay to play, especially in the second Battlefront game. A lot of pay to play and just not well thought out games. They're not fun. They're not. They might be fun for more casual players. I don't know, but for someone who enjoys competitive FPS games, they were very, very lackluster. Squadrons was kind of bit by the same bug. There were too many little bugs that they never fixed in Squadrons and never showed any real interest in fixing them. So Star Wars gaming, I grew up on Star Wars PC games, played them all, tons of them. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, all of those games I spent just countless hours on. So I'd really like some new good Star Wars games, and I have very, very high hopes for Zero Company. Now the Ryan Gosling movie, I am very excited about that one. I mean, and it really has nothing to do with Ryan Gosling being in it. He's a good actor. Excited to see that. Glad they pulled a strong name that might be a draw. I'm more excited about Sean Levy being the one making this film. Sean Levy has a very, very good list of movies, behind him. And I'm going all the way back, the Night at the Museum movies are a lot of fun. And then he kept progressing. But I will say that I'm most excited for a Sean Levy Star Wars movie based on his movie called The Adam Project. Nick, I know you know that one. I'm not sure if you do or not, Danny, but The Adam Project is such a throwback to sort of your family friendly sci-fi films of the 80s, early 90s. Super excited for that. That's the movie that made me start thinking that Marvel or DC or someone needed to grab Walker Scoble, because whoever gets him is going to have a real win on their hands. He's a really talented kid. He is now playing he's Percy Jackson now, and he's doing a really good job with that. The series has been kind of mixed for me. My kids have thoroughly enjoyed that series though. But Sean Levy making a Star Wars movies, I'm all over that. There's only a handful of directors that I'm going to get pretty excited about making a Star Wars movie, and he's not one that I had initially thought of, but I'm all kinds of down for it. Now the other problem, you're going back to Marvel and why Marvel isn't making money, even when they're turning out good products. And I think they've got several problems on their hand, and one of them, one of Marvel's products is Star Wars. Um, Lucasfilm has burned an incredible amount of Disney's goodwill. Um, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, these are companies that used to could put just about anything out and make money. And that's not who these companies are anymore. And I'm going to say that this is because of Disney's been, or Lucasfilm has been such a mixed bag, and they don't care. It's the feeling that you get from the people at the top at Lucasfilm and Disney at this point, and Bob Iger, is that they don't care. They're burning other people's money to push political agendas, and they don't care. Um, I mean, Bob Iger has just about burned Disney to the ground. Like, this is no longer, it was always expensive, but it's no longer, you've got middle class families that could save for their whole lives and never have enough money for a significant Disney vacation. It's just gotten outrageously expensive along with everything else. But, you know, I think with Marvel, it's twofold. You made a couple of bad things. You had a couple of actresses running around that used their platform um, during their press tours to just push political opinions. Brie Larson being the top one there. I think Brie Larson did a fair amount of damage to the brand, and not because of her movie. Her movie's not it's not great. It's one of the lower um of the first three tiers. It's certainly my least favorite, but it's not a awful movie. It's just, I mean, what's it going to take for these companies to realize that when you hire someone and they run around, instead of promoting their film, they run around and verbally abuse half the country, that your movie is not going to make money anymore? Um, that doesn't seem like a difficult thing to me, but there's plenty of them out there right now. The new Snow White is a prime example. I mean, Disney failing to make money with a Snow White movie is sort of mind blowing. Snow White is the movie that the Snow White animated film built that company. The House of Mouse was literally built on Snow White, period. And people like Kathleen Kennedy just seem all too willing to spend investors' money to promote an agenda. It is what it is, but it's going to hurt your bottom line. They can make that choice. It's their money, it's their company. But then you don't get to turn around and lecture the audience when they don't go see your movie. But I think that has carried over, and it has begun to hurt things like Marvel. I think Marvel's a twofold problem. I think one, like I said, I think a lot of Disney's goodwill has been burned. Now people are looking at them a lot closer and demanding a better product. The second thing is, and I don't even know how you overcome this, you may not be able to, is that, and as someone who wants more Marvel movies, can't wait to see so many characters that I haven't gotten to see yet. For a lot of people, they made up their mind before it ever came out that Endgame was the last movie for them of the MCU. That for them, the MCU ended with Endgame, and they didn't see a point in anything beyond that. And Marvel spoiled us. Bottom line, Marvel spoiled us. We had a decade of great movies capped off with this massive event, And there were a lot of people that expected it to just continue at that high bar set by Endgame in Infinity War and Endgame. And it's just not possible. And so that has caused a lot of people to just walk away from the MCU outright. A lot of people just did not care after Endgame, and that's fine. But I don't know how Marvel overcomes that, and they've got to find a way. I think the Thunderbolts is a huge step in the right direction for overcoming that. But if Thunderbolts fails to make any significant money at the box office, then I just don't know. Charles, welcome to the chat. I actually got more people in the chat than I thought would pop in here because I didn't warn anyone. But Disney, and for whatever reason, and I blame a lot of things for this. I think the studios are, and I'll say this. I've said this again. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think that the studios are intentionally damaging the theaters. Now, I think they might have done it beyond what they had hoped, but I mean, we already saw Sony. Somebody in the chat might know Sony was in the process of buying one of the theater chains. I don't know if it was Movie Tavern or another one, but it seems like Sony was, because they dropped the rules a couple of years ago that prohibited studios from owning theaters. And I really feel like this whole yanking, there's no benefit for Disney or Sony or any of these other companies to yank movies out of the theater after 3 weeks. Um, I think that we get things on digital entirely too fast. Um, we get them. I mean, gosh, it wasn't that long ago that you had to wait 6 months to go get, you didn't have digital, wasn't even an option. You had to wait at least 6 months to go get the Blu-ray or the DVD. And um, now, I mean, 6 weeks and you've got it, you can watch it at home. And that is causing a lot of people to just bypass the theater. Like I was saying at the top of the show, I prefer the theater experience. I prefer to go watch a movie with other fans and to leave the distractions of home behind for a couple of hours. But for a lot of people, they just prefer to watch them at home. And if you're going to give it to them in 6 weeks at home, they're going to wait. And there's no benefit to Disney in doing that or any other studio in doing that. The only thing that it really succeeds in doing is hurting the theaters. And the only conclusion I can come to is that they're willing to uh, devalue these theater chains. And I won't be surprised if sometime in the next year or two, if more studios start swooping in and buying up theater chains. Let's see who didn't like Thunderbolts. I feel like I missed something in the chat, but I loved Thunderbolts. I think it was absolutely fantastic. The marketing for Thunderbolts was absolutely brilliant. Um, oh, Charles didn't like it. I think Thunderbolts, I thought Thunderbolts was entertaining, I thought that the cast was fantastic. I thought the action was fantastic. And as much as anything, I felt like they tackled um, internalized trauma in a way that I can't think of anything that has done it that well lately. Um, And my phone's ringing. I'm not going to answer that. Anyway, let's see if I had anything else that I wanted to cover before I jump off here for the evening. Like I said, we will be doing full reviews of. We got several things because we've been away for a while. So, sometime this week, I will be doing a full review of. Oh my gosh, what was the name of the last Star Wars show? Hmm. Skeleton Crew. We will be doing a full review of Star Wars Skeleton Crew because I think we did an episode or two and then I haven't been back. So we will be doing a full review of Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which I absolutely loved. I will be doing reviews of Andor. I'll be honest. I have really had a heck of a time making myself sit down and watch it. And I don't know why. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy I didn't enjoy the last season. I enjoyed the last 5 episodes. But I did enjoy the last 5 episodes, and that did give me a lot of hope going into this season. So I still need to sit down and watch that. I've seen a little more than I wish I had as far as spoilers. And there's some things that I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some gripes about, but we will see after I watch it. I'm not going to judge it before I watch it. Let's see, Nick. So the marketing told me it would be funny and action. Am I? Oh no, it's it's funny. It's very funny. Um, the cast works very very well together, and really really good comedic timing. Especially Red Guardian. Red Guardian is absolutely fantastic. Um, and the action is very, very good. So if that's what you were expecting from it, but I think that it's got a lot more heart than the trailers may have let on. Um, let's see. So other things coming up. Yes, there is a Star Wars animated thing that's out right now. I guess it's out. Is Tales of the Underworld out? Did I miss that drop? Because we'll have to watch that. So I will be doing reviews of that. I'll be doing reviews of Andor. We've got Skeleton Crew reviews coming with the Padawans. Let's see. And again, nobody was in here when I said this earlier. I think that the Padawans, or the older two Padawans, are likely going to be starting their own show sometime later this summer. Iana is actually going to be working as an intern with Marisha here for a few weeks. So maybe after that, they will have a chance to kick that off. And it seems like there was something else that I have sitting out there that I need to do a review of, but I can't remember what it was at the moment. But Thunderbolts. We're going to be doing a full review of Thunderbolts. I'm hoping that I can catch Marisha. She's working crazy work hours, but she is working here in town now. So I'm hoping maybe this coming weekend when she's off, I can catch her for long enough to sit down and do a full review of the Thunderbolts. As I said, we've been gone for entirely too long here. I have what feels like a million things that we haven't covered that I need to, but there's so much that I feel like I'm having trouble getting my head around it all. If there's anything that you would like to see us cover on here, please, please, please drop us a message on the Facebook page or on X. Or here in the chat. I'll check it here in the chat as well. But I know there's a lot of things we need to cover to catch up. But thank you to Danny and Charles and Nick for dropping in and joining me in the chat. Lots more to come soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're really back this time. As I said at the top of the show, it's just been me trying to get my head around the fact that this was going to be just me mostly on here, and then make myself do it by myself. So here we are. I'm back. Going to be shooting for at least once every weekday, even if it's a short show like this one. Going to be keeping them a little shorter. I hope to be able to sit down and actually make better notes and be a little more prepared, so it's a little less rambly. But it may take me a little while to figure out how to do these by myself and it not be just rambly. Because since we started this show, the show has been a very conversational show. So trying to figure out how to switch that around and do it by myself, which again, as I said, is a little outside my comfort zone. But glad to be doing it. Oh, and while I've got you here, we have a new thing that we're working on, and I hope to find some way to involve some of our podcast friends as we get it going. But we are well into the process of bringing a Comic Con here to our hometown in Natchez, Mississippi. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know it's a long ways from most of you, but hope some of you might be able to make it when we get that off the ground. But it's that's coming, so stay tuned. We'll definitely be looking for a way to get some of you guys involved in that. But that's going to do it for right now. I might be back on later tonight because I did have some other things, but you know, sometimes I have to leave and go cook dinner. So that's what I'm going to do now. So until next time, y'all, may the force be with you.